The Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball team, Fran McCaffrey's crew, 1-0 on the season with a win over North Dakota on Tuesday night. Alabama State awaits later in the week. Should be an interesting game against the Hornets. We'll talk about the win against North Dakota and why I'm looking forward to the next week of both the men and the women on the hardwood. But first, I want to thank our sponsors, Ascent Nutrition. Check out their awesome new mushroom powders. Their Agarikon mushroom, their lion's mane mushroom. Read about all the benefits, whether it be immune system support, healthy gut, all kinds of different benefits. Check it all out at goascentnutrition.com. Again, that's goascentnutrition.com, and use the code Hawkeyes for 15% off your order. And Iowa floor covering down in Bondurant. All kinds of flooring, tile showers, carpet, and more. Give them a call or visit them online, iowafloorcovering.com. Again, that's iowafloorcovering.com for everything flooring down at Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant. So the Hawkeyes defeating North Dakota 110-68 on Tuesday evening. The Hawkeyes dominating from the tip. And I'll be honest, 110 points, probably more than I expected out of this team. It's so early, so hard to really judge a team so early based on 1, 2, or 3 games against mid-major opponents. But this is the step up in the competition, you would think, going from a non-Division I Quincy team about a week ago to a Division I Summit League team in North Dakota. And Iowa boat raced North Dakota 110-68. Margin of victory was bigger than it was against Quincy, so you'd think, hey, that's a step in the right direction. Held North Dakota to 40% shooting on the night. They made just 4 threes, 4 of 25 from behind the three-point arc. How much of that is just North Dakota missing shots? How much of that is Iowa's defense being decent on this Tuesday night? Probably a combination of both. I don't know what to expect out of North Dakota. They've got a couple of players. Certainly on Tuesday night, it appeared that BJ Amat was the best player on the floor for the Green, but just not nearly enough to even stay competitive in this game. I thought it was interesting. Iowa really balanced with scoring 6 players in double figures, one of which being freshman Owen Freeman, who chipped in 14 points off the bench, along with 3 rebounds. I'm going to be intrigued to see who steps up in that category, rebounding specifically. We saw Peyton Sandfort grab 9 boards, but is he a guy you're going to rely on in the Big Ten Conference to be able to pull in 7, 8, 9 rebounds a game? He does have length. He's going to be shooting a lot of threes on the offensive end. Perhaps his improved physicality from last season will pay big dividends because they need somebody. That's probably my biggest question mark with this team. I have question marks on the offensive end. I have some question marks about the defense, as I always do. But I think my biggest question mark is who's going to rebound. And Iowa did beat North Dakota in that category. Final tally there was 44-38. So not a big gap against a Summit League team that will probably finish bottom half of the conference, probably based on what I've seen. We don't know that certainly, but Iowa's going to be in for some tough days when they're going up against the likes of Zach Edey and these guys in the Big Ten Conference. So I'll be interested to see how Iowa rebounds the ball moving forward because they've struggled in that category in recent years. They bring in Ben Krikke, who's not known to be a rebounder. He had 6 rebounds on this night, perhaps has improved in that category. 6 rebounds in 23 minutes. Not bad for Ben Krikke. Patrick McCaffrey has never been a real strong rebounder. He did have 5 rebounds in about 23 minutes of play to go along with his 11 points. By the way, Ben Krikke had 18 points. Desante Bowen with 12 points, 5 assists, 0 turnovers. An improvement from that exhibition. Some of the exhibition struggles we saw out of Desante Bowen. It does sound like he had a strong offseason and a strong summer. Tony Perkins, he had 10 points to go along with 6 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers. Peyton Sandfort, 21 points. And I mentioned the 9 rebounds for Peyton. As far as the other freshmen are concerned, Brock Harding played about 11 minutes in this game. Again, showed his true point guard-esque vision and passing ability multiple times, his camaraderie, his chemistry with former high school teammate Owen Freeman in this game. Brock finished 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, had 6 points, 7 assists, did add 3 turnovers, but boy, 7 assists in 11 minutes of play. High volume as far as sharing the basketball and making big plays by sharing the basketball for Brock Harding, the true freshman out of Moline. We also saw Ladji Dembele, a couple impressive plays. I'll tell you, if this kid can make threes, he was 2 of 3 on the night from 3. If Ladji's making threes, wow. Like, this guy's got a lot of athletic upside. Did not expect him to be a contributor year one. But I also thought Iowa might be able to go out and get an athlete or two in the portal. They did not. And so now you're looking at a situation where, hey, we didn't see Evan Bronze play last night. That's an indication to me he ain't playing game one. He got in really late, the exhibition game, unless he was dinged up and we didn't hear about that. My guess is we're not going to see Evan Bronze this season. We also did not see Riley Mulvey. Now, not to say we'll never see them, but it's likely we don't very much. So they're going to see heavy minutes for Ben Krikke, heavy minutes for Owen Freeman, and probably now Laji Dembele. He finished 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3. And again, the athletic upside, he had a nice kind of a swim move off a catch, no dribble, 2-step to the basket for a flush at one point in this game. He finished with 8 points. Got a rebound a little bit better, played about 15 minutes, just one board. But his athleticism is something this team desperately needs. And they need Desante Bowen to play really well as far as athleticism outside. I think Brock Harding has got some athleticism. He's a little undersized, of course, and he's young. So Desante Bowen, guys like Laji Dembele, certainly Peyton Sanford on the glass, those guys are going to be key. And Tony Perkins, really good athlete for this team. How much can he be a factor with those long arms, that long wingspan on the glass? Iowa was 12 of 24 from 3. That's a good sign. 50% from 3. You'll take that any night. I don't care if it's against North Dakota or against Purdue. I will say this. You look at the game, and Peyton Sanford, 3 of 7. Price Sanford, just 1 of 3. Missed a couple of threes that, based on what we saw in the exhibition, I would guess you're pretty comfortable with him taking almost 24/7. And we only saw Patrick make 1. Ben Krikke added 1. Desante Bowen added 1. Tony Perkins added 1. Pretty balanced across the board there from 3. And that's been a concern at times last couple of seasons. Iowa's had dry spells. I think of that stretch last year against Nebraska, against Penn State. So maybe, just maybe, Iowa will be able to figure out a way to shoot the 3 ball effectively with the guys they have, even though I think they're less athletic than they were last year, collectively less athletic. They've got some young, talented guys, and all of these freshmen appear to be able to shoot from outside. In fact, last night you had Dembele make 2 threes. You had Sanford make 1. You had Harding make 1. You had Owen shoot 1, missed the 3 he took, but he looked comfortable back there. So that's interesting. I mean, Owen Freeman was 7 of 8 from the field and did shoot. His 1 miss was from 3. So he's got a lot of upside. I think a lot of this will come down to the stats on the boards, certainly how they shoot the 3 ball through and through. And I think maybe the most obvious, how quickly will this group of 4 freshmen be able to contribute once you get to heavier competition? If those guys are plug-and-play guys as freshmen, that's very rare to see at this level. This team can be really good, but we don't know that to be the case, and I never expected that to be the case. But obviously those guys have all worked into the rotation at this point based on what we saw Tuesday and during the exhibition. So for the game, Iowa shot 53% from the field, 50% from 3, and they were 18 of 20 from the free throw line, good for 90%. Solid. The Hawks win by, 42 points. Really impressive by Iowa. They will get back on the horse on Friday against an Alabama State team they played 2 years ago and gave up 82 points to the Hornets. So maybe you look back at that tape. There are a few carryovers from each of these teams, especially Iowa. I guess I looked at Iowa. I'm assuming there's going to be a couple of carryovers from that Alabama State roster. I know Peyton Sanford went off 21 points against Alabama State a couple of years ago, made 5 3-pointers in that game. So perhaps that will give him a little bit of confidence and he'll be able to hit some threes. Again, he struggled early in the year, really went through a spell first couple months of the season last year. So played pretty well on Tuesday night. It'd be nice to see him play well against Alabama State on Friday. Alabama State actually pushed Ole Miss on Monday, lost by just 10. Didn't shoot the ball well, but held Ole Miss to, I believe, 69 points in Oxford. 59-69 was the final. They didn't have anybody that went off offensively, but they played good defense despite not shooting the 3 ball well and only lost by 10. This was one of the worst teams in the country, according to a lot of metrics last year, Alabama State, but they only lost by 10 to Ole Miss on the road 2 days ago. So we'll see what happens this Friday in Iowa City. Appreciate you tuning in. Quick segment, kind of a recap from Tuesday night. I'll continue to do these, but we're going to also be doing live post-game shows with Coach Gary Close throughout the year. Keep it locked in right here for men's, women's basketball, and football coverage all year long. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out, folks. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.